James Gunn's Superman is DC's smartest move yet. Keep watching to learn why. Hi, welcome to After the Credits Roll, where you get casual couch reviews with your host Cowie, and if you're very lucky, and the occasional furry friend. Gone are the days of the dark, gritty Man of Steel that Zack Snyder created. Look, as much as I didn't think that movie deserved the criticism that it did from critics at the time of its release, Superman is supposed to be a symbol of hope, and he deserves a movie where he can stand out in the bright light of day and be just that. The new Superman movie does this perfectly. It's bright, it's colourful, and it's a pleasure to look at overall. I think that the team behind the movie absolutely hits the mark with the tone that they're trying to set with this visually. The CGI is high quality, so it never felt like I was disconnected from DC's new universe. But it wasn't just the visuals that grabbed me. From the very first scene, the action kicks in fast, and it seemingly never lets up. They've also made some bold choices in the writing department, citing a war between a powerful American-backed ally and an oppressed peoples, and choosing not to sit on the fence over it. Clearly it's working well for Gunn and the production house. It's getting people talking about the movie, and for better or for worse, it's good for their bottom line. The plot at a high level is super simple. Lex Luthor is out to get Superman by any means necessary. And like any true supervillain, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty, and he definitely doesn't play by the rules. However, for someone whose main goal is to kill Superman, he bafflingly refuses to do exactly that despite having one perfect opportunity to finish him off. And that leads me on to my first major gripe with the movie. The character of Lex Luthor is a bit of a letdown. There's just not a whole lot of depth there. He seems like a very typical bad guy. I don't quite understand his motive behind killing Superman. It seems like he just hates him because he's an alien that's taken his job. It could be a political statement, but I still would have appreciated a bit more depth to the character. But in the same breath, I would say Nicholas Hoult played the character really well. He had me rooting squarely against him, which seemed like was the intention of the writers. On the other side of the equation, David Corenswet as the lead actor and the new DCU Superman absolutely fits the bill, and I also really appreciated the way that Supes was written in this movie. I don't want to see Superman making pragmatic decisions, being dark or brooding. If he's truly supposed to be a symbol of hope, he should be truly good, with absolutely no nuance. They hammered that home here, and David Corenswet perfectly plays the down-to-earth, naive, country boy role. Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane was also a great addition to this movie. She wasn't just added in there because you can't have a Superman movie without Lois Lane in it. Her character is a great countercheck and complement to Superman, and this was especially highlighted in one scene where Lois interviews Clark as Superman and she directly challenges his naivety. I thought this was a great scene. There was a clear build-up of tension, there were low moments, and there were also moments where you might expect someone who isn't the embodiment of all that is good to lose their cool. It did a great job of setting the scene not only for Clark and Lois's characters, but also for their relationship. Unfortunately, moments like these were few and far between in this movie. I can name maybe one or two genuinely heartfelt moments, but this just wouldn't be a James Gunn movie without an abundance of jokes. I know I said that I really enjoyed the tone that the visuals set in this movie and how pleasing that it was to look at, but I just can't say the same about the tone that the writing sets. It wasn't all bad. The obvious comic relief character here was Green Lantern, and he was one that I really enjoyed, even though I don't think that there were any moments in this movie where I genuinely laughed out loud. There was just far too much of a focus on quantity over quality here. James Gunn absolutely nailed emotional beats on Guardians 3. Here he comes close, but he just doesn't let us stay in the moment. There could have been some of those genuine heartfelt moments that would have been better left alone. The rest of the Justice Gang, Mr. Terrific, played by Eddie Gathegi, and Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced, had their parts to play too. Mr. Terrific got his fair share of screen time. However, Hawkgirl, I felt particularly, was sidelined throughout the movie. I honestly can't remember much that she did, apart from her ridiculously zoomed-in face while she did her crazy hawk scream towards the final act of the movie. A character that features prominently is our new favourite CGI superdog, Krypto. And this character was done quite well. Just as Superman displays his humanity, Krypto is displayed as a organically scruffy, loyal, and hilariously untrained super pup. Overall, I don't have many complaints. The story held together pretty well in the end, despite it not really being a standout feature of the movie. This movie sprung a question into my mind, which is, why do we even go to the movies in the first place? This movie made me smile. If I put my critical mind to one side, I really enjoyed the movie. And I think the tone had a massive part to play in that. If the same level of quality was on display in a movie that had a darker tone, I'm sure that I would have come out of the theatre less pleased. And I think that's why this truly was a masterstroke from DC. And the masterstroke was actually employing James Gunn in the first place. James Gunn knows how to make people smile. He has a proven track record of that. And sometimes that's all we want from a movie. We don't want a perfect movie. We don't want a flawless movie. This was flawed, but it was a good time. And that's why it gets a 7.5 out of 10.